Come on, Monsignor. First of all, folks, thank you. Thank you very much for your interest and your company and your presence. I just thought it would be extraordinarily appropriate if we publicly expressed, on behalf of our beloved St. Patrick's Cathedral and on behalf of the citizens of New York, the love, the solidarity, the prayers, and the sorrow that we feel over the devastating fire at Notre Dame Cathedral in the heart of Paris, and indeed the very heart of Europe, and certainly the heart of civilization in so many ways. I could only imagine, Monsignor Ritchie, what it would do to all of us if a fire struck St. Patrick's. We would all sense that there was a fire in our home, because that's what a cathedral really is. It's a spiritual home where people go in moments of tears and in moments of smiles. And this is a moment of tears for Notre Dame on the Ile de la Cité, right smack dab in the middle of Paris. It would be difficult, I presume second maybe to St. Peter's Basilica, to think of a church that more represents love and God's presence among us, and the ability of a church to lift our minds and hearts back to the Lord, the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. So while our sorrow couldn't come close to that gripping the heart of the French nation, it is certainly sincere and it's certainly deep. And I'm just hoping that the expression of that solidarity might bring a little consolation to the people of Paris. Monsignor and I have just been inside St. Patrick's, filled with people as usual in prayer, also filled with people approaching the sacrament of confession on this Reconciliation Monday as we get ready for a Good Friday and Easter. And all of them are commenting with pain about the fire at Notre Dame. Would you be interested in a email that I just sent my brother Archbishop in Paris? Let me just read it. It's short. His name is Michel Aupetit. Michel Aupetit. He was here to visit maybe only 6 months ago, as was his predecessor, Cardinal Ventois, who spoke to me with such warmth and pride and gratitude about their efforts in Paris to restore and repair Notre Dame, and was so interested in what we were doing here at St. Patrick's. So I wrote him today, my brother Michel, the people of New York unite with you and the citizens of Paris in sorrow over today's devastating fire. We here love St. Patrick's. It is our spiritual home for people of all faiths. Thus can we but imagine the sadness of your people as they watch their family home of the soul reduced to ashes. Count on our love, prayer, support, and solidarity. This Holy Week teaches us that, like Jesus, death brings life. Today's dying, we trust, will bring rising. Fraternally, Timothy. Thank you. Monsignor, thanks. You probably know more about the details of the fire than I do, so I don't know if I'd be of much help in the information about the fire, but is there anything you wanted to ask? I know, Monsignor, I think it deepens our appreciation that when we did the repair and renewal and restoration of St. Patrick's, we took special care of fire prevention. We really are grateful for the attention that the New York Fire Department gives to us all the time. They inspect us how often?
3 or 4 times a year.
And they placed a new mist system upstairs because the roof is wooden.
Right.
And they coated the roof with a fire retardant. So we've taken all prudent steps to see that such a tragedy could not happen here, but who knows with fires. So anyway, thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Well, it was just a dramatic sign of the devastation and the destruction. A little hope, the recent pictures that you are more familiar with perhaps than I am, that the towers are gone, right?
No.
Oh, the steeple's gone. The towers are there and the exterior's there. I'm grateful that nobody's been reported injured. But you worry about the devastation inside. The outside of a cathedral is very, very important, but it's what happens inside. The prayer and the worship, the love and the community, the sacred art and the objects of devotion. And that must be, that's got to be terribly, terribly destroyed. So it's sad. So. I would think so. Yeah. We should. Yeah. We still owe money here, and thanks to the generosity of this community, we're close to paying off the repair here. But that would not stop us from trying to reach out to see the assistance that they need. So, thank you, everybody. A blessed Holy Week and Easter. Yeah. Well, you're right. It affects the soul because it's a house of prayer and faith. Boy, it affects the heart because it's a place of love and gathering in community. It affects all the senses because for the French, my God, for the world, Notre Dame Cathedral represents what's most noble, what's most uplifting, what's most inspirational about the human project. And to see that reduced to ashes, my oh my. I remember our song, From the Ashes, We Rise Up. We had Ash Wednesday. We want to rise up with Jesus at Easter. And I believe that there'll be some rising from this dying. So, thank you.
But is the church going to do anything to try to help?
Oh, we would indeed. We'll wait to hear what my brother, Archbishop Michel Petit, the best way that we can help. Right now, the best thing we can do is give them our love and prayers, and that they have in abundance. But when they let us know how we could help, we will. I think Paris and New York enjoy a rich bond, so we don't want to let them down. So, from visits and stuff. Well, I've been honored to be at Notre Dame many times, and I went when I was a student in Rome studying to be a priest, and I was in Paris, obviously, and to be honest with you, I didn't have much money, and I can remember just spending the day in Notre Dame. It was sanctuary for me, both spiritually and a place just to stay, to get out of the rain, and to pray, and to see people, and to admire the art. So that personal sentiment that would be shared by so many, that makes our sorrow particularly intense. So, thanks. All right. Yeah.
What does it mean to have people over the flyer? It's easy to remind of what
Well, you used an appropriate word, and iconic, and Notre Dame Cathedral is certainly iconic, meaning it's meant to be looked at and we pass through to the divine. Holy Week, I mean, if we're going to bring lessons out of this, and evil always teaches us something, yes, it's that whole dying and rising. This would be the week that Notre Dame would be most jammed. This would be the week when Notre Dame would be filled with worshipers. This would be the week that Notre Dame Cathedral was just alive with the sacred liturgies of the church as we commemorate and relive and renew the dying and rising of Jesus. Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Easter. So there is a lesson there, and it's the dying and rising of Jesus, that just as the cross didn't have the last word, neither for people of faith in France will this fire have the last word. Thanks, everybody. See you during Holy Week, I hope. I got to get back to confessions. All right? Thanks for coming, everybody.